Hey guys, it's Christian from 7 Gaming Network, and I'm here with another Tactica for Spirit of Rebellion. And this time we're going to look at the deadly shot that is another of my favourite characters from this set. It is the deadly Aurra Sing. So we're going to have a look at the card, her dice. We're going to take a look at what decks she can fit into, what good cards there are to play with her, and also how you can play against her. So starting off, let's just have a look at her dice sides. So we can see that she's got a lot of damage. She is running a lot of damage on her dice. So she's got the 1 ranged, the 2 ranged, and the 2 ranged. I love this. This is 3 straight up damage sides, and not only that, they're all black. This makes it really strong. That is consistent. And then the other 2 sides that she's rolling a disrupt. Yeah, we're not going to run her for that. And then she's got a resource. Okay, so and that's solid. And of course, in Awakenings we could take that for granted. In Spirit of Rebellion, maybe not quite so much. And her blank. But I think what we need to look at, and again, like all the characters, we need to be looking at those die faces in relation to her ability and her points cost. Now, at 14-18, she's not cheap. There are, I mean, that at 14-18, that's fine, but that does cut out quite a lot of combinations for her. And what we see is that she's very clearly a damage dealer. She is there to do damage, and that's going to be her main role. So the kind of characters that you're going to pair with her are either going to help her to do more damage, or they're just going to add their own amount of damage and try and maximise the amount of damage that you're doing as a build. Now, she's only got 10 health, which again isn't great for a 14-18 cost character, but those die sides are really strong. But what makes the die sides even stronger is her amazing ability. Before you resolve this die, you may discard a card from your hand to increase its value by 1. So let's just have a look then at the new die sides. We've got a 2 straight up damage, we've got a 3 straight up damage, and another 3 straight up damage. We've got a 2 disrupt, and we've got a 2 resources side. Guys, that's a really strong ability. Like, you need to understand how strong that is. Now, yes, I know we can say, hold on a second, I'm discarding a card. You know, this is a game with only 30 cards in the deck. Each one's very valuable. And I would say yes, if this is the kind of effect that we wanted to do over and over and over again, a sort of a control type build, then I'd say a control type character in a control build, then I'd say yeah, that's not going to be very good, because we're going to just use up our deck too quickly. But that's not at all what Aurra's about. Aurra is a deadly shot. She's a sniper. You're trying to do these intense amounts of damage in really short amounts of time. And actually, that's how I think we need to be playing with Aurra Sing. You need to be playing in a fast deck. It's got to be that sort of like just whammo damage coming out of nowhere, loads of it, and then bang, the turn's ended, and you're done, claiming the battlefield. It's got to have that sort of feel to it. I think most of the builds that we're going to use Aurra in, you're going to get the most out of it when it's fast. Now, that can be quite expensive, yes, discarding those cards, but like I just said, the aim is quick games. If you're playing with Aurra, we want to do lots of damage. And just to sort of compare a little bit, now I know we've got less health, we've obviously got a different ability, and I would argue not as strong as Vader's, but Vader's got a 2 and a 3, and what we're looking at here really is, man, I'm going to be discarding a card every time I'm using Aurra's ability, so we're looking at a 2, a 3 and a 3 on her dice, which is way better than Vader. It's really strong. So, some good cards that we can use with Aurra then, since we've worked out, well, we need to go fast with her and we need to do lots of damage with her. Well, there's absolutely loads of cool things, because we're in Villain Rogue. Now, I think Bait and Switch is probably one of my favourite cards in the set. It's certainly one of the best events in the set. And as I said, we want to go fast with Aurra, and Bait and Switch fits that. It's got Ambush, and it's got turn one of your dice showing a resource to any side. And of course, Aurra's die has resource on it. So if we're using Elite Aurra, we could be quite regularly hitting that resource side, and then we're going to be able to use a Bait and Switch to turn it to whatever side we want. It's going to be the 2 side, and then we're going to be able to hit for that 3. Now that by itself is pretty cool. That's what Bait and Switch does. It's strong, and actually, like, that's another good comparison with Vader. That's why we in Vader Raider we're using that Bait and Switch to make the most of that very certain damage. However, I have to tell you about a little combo that happened in a game I was playing with Aurra just the other day. I rolled her dice out, and I've actually hit both of her resource sides, and I just so happened to have 2 Bait and Switches in my hand, and this is where Ambush becomes amazing, because of course I could Bait and Switch the 1 die, so I turned that 1 into the 2 damage. It's got Ambush, so I played the other Bait and Switch to turn the other resource side that was left into the 2 damage as well, and then with my Ambush I resolved range damage, discarded 2 more cards. Now admittedly that's 4 cards gone from my hand, but then Aurra just dealt 6 damage from out of nowhere. That game, that actually won me a game against Palpatine. He had only 5 health left. He was feeling in a real strong position. He had loads of upgrades out, but this is what I mean about, we want this kind of speed. I mean, in fluff terms, Aurra just deadly shotted, sniper shot Palpatine, right between the eyes, with a double Bait and Switch on her dice. Now, of course, those kind of plays aren't going to happen very often, but that's the kind of thing that we're looking to do with Aurra to get the most out of her dice, and Bait and Switch allows us to do that. Now, there's another little thing that I quite like about that, is that I didn't actually have this in play, but if I was playing with this as the with a secret facility as the battlefield, then can you imagine doing Bait and Switch, and then the other Bait and Switch, and then actually as my ambush action claiming the secret facility, which allows me to resolve up to 3 of my dice showing damage, and I could have claimed the battlefield as well as then dealing 6 damage with Aurra. That's amazing. That really is very, very cool. And just another card that goes very well with Aurra that's been printed just recently is the Ascension Gun, and again I really like that with that battlefield, to go very, very quickly and claim that battlefield, use Aurra's dice, get that damage through, and claim the battlefield, keep ahead. I think that Ascension Gun with its special is a really cool little include, and of course it's got more straight up damage. It's got focus on. We love the focus because that gets Aurra to her 2 damage side, and then we're going to be able to resolve it. And we're probably not going to use the 2 discard for 1 very much in an Aurra Sing build, but the special can work really well with things like that. And that's kind of what I feel like we're looking to do when we're playing Aurra, is look for ways to abuse going really fast, making the most of her dice and getting your turns done quickly. And to that end, I think therefore you need to have these 2 cards, or you certainly need to have fast hands. I think fast hands on Aurra is kind of fundamental to her. It's such a strong card, it's such a strong ability. What we can't afford with an 18 points worth of dice is to be having them removed, so we need to be making the most of them, and fast hands allows us to do exactly that. And of course Infamous allows us to again do more of this crazy fast chaining things together, getting your turn done really fast without giving your opponent much chance to interact with your dice and do horrible things like remove them. Okay, so Infamous opens the way again for all sorts of other cool plays, playing out your Ascension Gun and being able to go faster and just get your turn done more quickly. No, I mean, now here's two standard cards. I mean, if you're playing shooty, villain, rogue, I mean, you're going to have these two cards in. You need them in, armed to the teeth and fight dirty. So they're put there really just to make sure that, remember, we're trying to go fast and do lots of damage. So one of the things that I tend to find with Aurra is she doesn't need to have upgrades on her. But what you can do is potentially put like cheap ones on her, like on the hunt perhaps, which help you then to sort of fuel your arm to the teeth. Or you could even just do things like, she does need to stay alive. So you can be putting on things like hunker down, that costs 0, armour plating, that only costs 1, it keeps her alive, and if it doesn't get used, well then you can arm to the teeth, get rid of those, and you know, if you're able to do both of Aurra's sides, deal 6 damage, and then discard 2 upgrades and do an arm to the teeth, 8 damage just off Aurra, irrespective of what other character you've got, wow, that's so strong. Now clearly you don't want to be fight dirtying her dice, but again, sometimes just getting that bit of extra damage through is so important, and if you manage to get through a turn and you just don't roll that damage, then the fight dirty can be just enough, especially in with whatever character that's going with her, supporting her and doing some damage too. Now, I'm not sure about this card, but I've just put it in there. Go for the kill. Resolve one of your dice showing range damage, treating this damage as unblockable. Well look, I think again we've got to make the most of Aurra's dice, and what we can't really put up with her dice just essentially just removing shields, and we need to be getting the damage through, and of course in a faction in villain rogue, when we can be playing backup muscle, I feel like being able to play go for the kill, resolve one of your dice showing range damage, treating the damage as unblockable is really helpful, because it helps us get a bit closer to that getting the kill with the backup muscle, and it's allowing us to make the most of Aurra's dice. It's going to be 3 damage. It's worth it to push it through. Now, in terms of characters to play with Aurra, I think these are probably the two that I've seen most. These appear to be the most popular ones to play with her. I mean, there are some, because she's quite a big damagey character in herself. With her 18 points, you could realistically put maybe like an Unkar with her. As a 3 dice pairing, you know, Unkar is a strong character. You're not looking at a massive amount of hit points there with only 20, but that is just a problem with villain rogue anyway. But of course, Unkar does give you more of a chance to get together some resources and be able to play out some bigger upgrades. But I think what I like more are these two characters with Aurra. Bear in mind, we want her to do lots of damage, we want to finish the turns quickly and be done with it. I feel like these two characters just go better. Now of course, if we went the Balatik route, then we're going really shy on the amount of hit points. We've only got 18 hit points there, but we do have 4 dice, so that's pretty good. Immediately a fight dirty looks better. And Balatik's dice are strong with Aurra as well. When we've got the 1 and the +2, well, we do like the +2 because we've got lots of straight up damage sides on Aurra, so that +2 is much more likely to be able to, for us to be able to get it off. And the focus, we don't mind rolling the focus, because of course we can use that to focus Aurra's dice and get the most out of her nice big chunky dice. And of course, it feels like, because we've got so much damage potential, that we probably are going to be getting a character killed, and that just makes Balatik so much better when we're looking at that kind of, yeah, we're doing a lot of damage, that's what the whole deck's built around, so Balatik really should get at least 1 activation every match at a minimum. And they do seem to have got a few 3 character decks around as well, and so, you know, if that's your meta, then Balatik of course becomes even better for that. And then we've got Django. Now Django becomes I would go 2 Aurra Sing, 1 Django die. I wouldn't go the other way around, because Aura's just so good with her dice. But Django, what of course makes this really scary is he's going fast again. So this whole idea of trying to make the deck fast and sort of action cheaty and awkward to deal with, Django fits beautifully with that. And I also think as well that because Aurra her dice are so good, you probably don't really need to be putting dice upgrades on her, as I said earlier. In fact, what I'd be doing is I'd be putting my dice upgrades onto Django, so that in a Django Aurra build, okay, Django's only got the one die, but he's there for his ability, which means, of course, that you can get the holdout blasters and the ascension guns onto Django, and then just be threatening all the time. You're going to roll Aurra, you're going to deal with Aurra, and then whenever they go, you've got that Django activation to threaten, and it's going really fast, and you're able to put this damage out very, very quickly. So for that reason, I love Django with Aurra. And of course, with the resource sides, hey, that's not the end of the world. Again, if we hit those, then a fight dirty for 2 damage, I mean, I'll take that if it kills a character. You know, it really is that simple. And that really can be all that you need sometimes, to just tip that turnover and get rid of a character to finish them off. So I think Django works brilliantly well with Aurra. So, how do you play against Aurra? Well, I haven't put a lot down, actually. One card I think, and this is generally a sort of a good tech against those kind of decks that rely more on big character dice, like Aurra, 18 points, that is not cheap for 2 dice. So a prized possession feels to me like a really good play against her. That's going to remove a lot of Aurra's damage output, and of course if they were only playing with the one of her, I mean, that's a big old scary dice to take off the field. That's 14 points worth. Prized possession becomes a very, very good card against Aurra if they're only playing the normal version, the non-elite version. So the other big thing, of course, that you're going to do against a card or a dice like Aurra is removal. I mean, it's fairly straightforward, but if you've got these big characters with big die sides, then you've got to have that removal ready. The difficulty, of course, is trying to get around the cheatiness that this kind of deck will use. And I think you always have to play around a bait and switch. That's just, I mean, it's pretty much like ubiquitous. You're going to see it everywhere in villain rogue if they're trying to do some damage. And so I would be playing around a bait and switch play all the time, and just being aware that Infamous is probably going to be a thing. There's going to be some action cheating, there's going to be ambush cards, and so I think at any chance that you get to remove Aurra's dice, you do that at the first opportunity. Like, I don't care if it's shown a disrupt or a blank, because then she might have fight dirty. So even still, I'd just be trying to remove her dice straight up and down all the time, because over and above that, she's not going to be able to do anything else. Her ability doesn't do anything without her dice. You remove those dice, and Aurra becomes really impotent. Anyway, so that's Aurra Sing, a really cool character. I really like her. There are some Aurra Django, Aurra Balatik builds that have been kicking around a little bit. I think they're difficult to keep alive, those kind of builds, and so I think your classic now armor platings and personal shields are the kind of upgrades that you need to potentially include in these decks to keep these characters alive. But that would be one. I think armor plating's good. I don't know about personal shield, probably a bit too expensive, especially as we don't really want to be discarding that to things like our arm to the teeth. Whereas armor plating, well, that fits in quite nicely. Another card I'll mention, which I haven't actually put out on the board here, is Cheat. It's a bit slower, admittedly, but if you can cheat for like a bait and switch back and have that as a threat, or if you can cheat back for a fight dirty or for an arm to the teeth, that feels pretty strong to me. But just remember, of course, that it's going to cost you quite a few cards. You've got to play the cheat itself, and you've got to swap a card to get the other card back, and that could hit your ability to use Aurra. But when you've got a deck that's doing lots of cheaty, ambushy type effects with really good events, then cheat, I think, just becomes a really good include. So you've got that option to get that kind of card back again. So that's Aurra. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found that helpful. Again, if you think I've missed out a really obvious, brilliant card to include with her, or another character that's very good, then please do stick it in the comments section. This is meant to be a resource for the whole of our Star Wars Destiny community. Yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, you'll get in touch with me on Peace Lord on the Knights of Ren Discord channel. Of course, you can leave comments on this video as well. And I do have a Patreon as well, and we've got troopers, we've got Sith warriors, we've got Sith apprentices, we've got all sorts of levels that you can get involved at, and we've got loads of chat and discussion going on in Discord. As I post this, we've got loads of people going through store champs and all that, and there's loads of deck discussion and meta discussion and all that kind of fun stuff. So if you're interested in getting involved in that, then please do join the Patreon, and of course it helps me to make more videos like this as well. Guys, if you haven't checked out swdestiny.com, go and do it. Loads of great articles, and probably one of my favourite podcasts ever in the whole wide world ever is Knights of Ren. Do go and check them out if you're into your competitive Destiny. Anyway, that's all from me for this particular Tactica. That was Aurra Sing, and until next time, keep enjoying Destiny.